Good afternoon. I'm Daniel Guest, and welcome to the Imagine Golf Podcast, where we help you get the swing and the game that you've always imagined. Today's podcast is brought to you by Imagine Golf and PXG. You can go to our site, imaginegolf.com, to see all of our offerings, including our free drills, our free practice plans, our golf ebooks and videos, or to book a lesson with me in our state-of-the-art studio right outside of Philadelphia, or even virtually from anywhere in the world through our partner, thegolfliveapp.com. And you can sign up our free tips and videos that go out once a week, every week, by simply dropping us your email. Well, here it is. Today is for Friday, 4 Minute Friday, where we give you a tool, something that you could take with you, something that you can change immediately or help your game, I should say, help your swing and your game in 4 minutes or less, starting now. And this one is near and dear to my heart because for a lot of reasons, but um, for the number one reason is that for most individuals, if you cannot get off the tee, your game suffers significantly, right? And we're talking about the driver here, and the driver we're going to use primarily on 14 different holes, 14 out of 8 holes, right? If you're a senior like me, and it's a long, par three, 220 plus yards, who knows? Maybe you do use your driver more than 14 times, but you get the idea. If you can't get off the tee box with your driver, if you can't hit your driver appropriately, it's a problem for your game. So, what I see happen the most, all right, bar none, the absolute number one thing that people do wrong with their drivers, they tee it up inappropriately, right? Just just flat out don't even have a clue as to why they're doing what they're doing with that tee height or with their tee in general, right? And tee height's not just the only thing we're going to talk about today, but by and large, all right, the tee or the ball, excuse me, has to be about halfway above the crown or the top of the driver. So put the driver down on the ground, put your tee in the ground, put the ball on the tee, and step back and make sure that about half the golf ball is above the driver head, right? And if you need a guide, most golf balls today have either some type of line or logo. They all have a logo, but have some type of line and or writing that's in a straight line on the opposite side of the logo. Use that as the center piece, if you would, or the equator of the golf ball, so that you know exactly what you're doing, right? So that's first and foremost. But here's the biggest thing that you need to know: that mark or that line on the top of your driver, which indicates the center of the face, you are not supposed to center that with the center of the golf ball. All right. Let me repeat that again. The line on top of the driver is not supposed to be in the center of the golf ball. Why is that, Daniel? Well, because if you put the driver on the ground and it's in the center of the golf ball when the driver's on the ground, the driver and the putter are the only two clubs that we don't hit the ground with, right? So on a driver, the driver is actually in the air, right, when it's striking on the way up, all right? And if you raise the driver in the air to where you would normally strike it, right, you're going to notice that if you do that, let's back up. You start with the driver or the line in the middle of the ball on the ground, and then just raise it to where you would normally impact it. And you'll notice immediately you're going to strike it on the heel, right? The most unproductive quadrant of the golf club is the low heel. And that's exactly where you're going to strike it, right? And the ball's going to go awry, usually to the right. Imagine that. 90% of you listening to this podcast already hit it to the right. We're experts at slicing it to the right with a driver. And now you're just setting yourself up to do it even more. So here's what you do. You take that line, right, on the top of your driver, and you put it just on the inside of the ball, right? Just on the inside of the golf ball. So that's going to look like you're setting up, all right, with the golf ball on the toe of the driver, because you are. And if you don't believe me, now raise the drive. Do that setup. Now raise the driver, right, as to where it's going to be during impact, and voila, you're going to hit it dead center. That's it. I think this might be the only Friday that we actually did underneath 4 minutes. All right. Tee the ball up the appropriate height. By the way, if you want to hit a lower shot, like I'm out at the World Long Drive Championship in South Carolina in the middle of a hurricane today, and the winds are crazy. So we need to tee it down. But if you tee it down a little bit, you can't expect to hit a high golf ball or even a far golf ball, right? But in general, get that tee height, right? Appropriate, right? Is it going to be different for everyone's swing? A little bit, I get it. But start with the basics. Get half that golf ball above the top of the driver head when it's laying on the ground. Number two, get that center line more towards the inside of the golf ball at address so that it looks like you're teeing it up on the toe, if you would. If you'll do those two things, I guarantee you, all right, immediately you will start finding the center of the face more often and hit the golf ball farther with your driver. All right. That's all I have for today's podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Please hit the follow button wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to check out our site, imaginegolf.com, and you can follow us on all the social media platforms. Check out what's it called? Wingding TV, and you can watch our long drive student, our long drive professional. He's not a student. Jacob Bolnar on the way to victory, if you would, at the at the Ultimate World Long Drive Championships tomorrow, actually Saturday. And here's to getting you the swing, and the game that you've always